I beheld heaven open, and behold the white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war. We are at
So you better lace your straps up.
and spiritual.
We're at war. So you better lace your straps up.
Man, the hell up this room.
This is war.
We are at war.
So you better lace your straps up.
And spiritual.
We're at war. So you better lace your straps
Man, the hell
up.
up this room. Big tanks, warships, implanted hands with small chips. North Korea, Russian spies, war is at our doorsteps. History doesn't lie, they beat the slaves with horse whips. So I think it's only right we pay them back with sword tips. End of time, spoken of, it's gonna get a little warm. Daniel 7 started 8, judgment of the little horn that beat us down, held us back, called us by obscenities. Prepare us a table in the presence of our enemies and pay them back. Worse than that, they argue that the earth is flat. Our babies dying, mothers crying, cities full of murdered blacks. Hispanics too, they hate you too. Edomites are not your friend. Harmless smile behind the scenes. They tracking you through iPhone 10 technologies, through policy. We served them since the colonies. This ain't our rest, my mind is right. This place is hell, I'm not at ease. I swore an oath with every breath. I promise to defend the law. Sword is sharpened, armored up. I'm calling for the men of
This is
war.
war.
We are at
So you better lace your straps up.
physical and spiritual.
We're at war. So you better lace your straps up.
Man, the hell up this room.
This is war.
We are at war.
So you better lace your straps up.
Physical and spiritual.
We're at war. So you better lace your straps
Man, the hell
up.
up this room.
All right. Shalom, shalom. What is going on? What is going on, family? Welcome to another edition of Maccabees TV. It's your brother, Priest Dan, representing Lions of Israel, representing Maccabees TV. Good afternoon. Hopefully everybody's doing well and everybody is healthy. Without further ado, what I'm going to do, family, without further ado, I'm going to bring my brother in. I'm not going to ask him to unmute just yet. I'm going to let my brother in and let him know that we're live. We're live right now. But before we go on with the show, what I want to do is I kind of want to start off with something that I've been pushing over the last, I want to say about 2 to 3 weeks. All right. So we're doing a show today about health and wellness, which is severely lacking. Let me put myself on the camera. Sorry, y'all. What's going on, y'all? Yeah, we're talking about health and wellness, which is an area that's severely lacking in our community amongst our people. A lot of our people really don't pay too much time or too much notice to health. They're more concerned with social media and things of that nature, TikTok, making TikTok videos and all that stuff like that. They're not so concerned with our health and wellness, right? So we have to push that because it's very, very important. Y'all just give me 1 second, right? What I need to do is I just want to make sure that everything is going well on my end because it looks like it's kind of lagging a little on my end. I'm not sure if that's the case. Let me just see.
Look good. Sound good.
Okay, great. All right, all praises to the Most High. Excellent. Okay, all praises. So you brothers and sisters, y'all already know the etiquette. You guys got to like the video and share the video. That's the etiquette. If you in my house, make sure you like the video, you share the video. Before we go any further, without further ado, before we go any further, what I want to do is I want to play this video. I want to let Israel know exactly what's going on, what it is I got going on. And I want to see who's going to step up to the challenge because a lot of Israelites talk a lot of stuff about health and wellness and working out, the ones that do. But when I put the challenge out, it was cricket. So let's go ahead and let's play this video right here real quick. I got a challenge going out there, and I want to see who's going to step to the plate to take this challenge. Let's go. The video's lagging a little bit for some reason. Is it lagging on your end, Inky?
Yeah, it's freezing.
It's lagging, right? I'm lagging also. I don't know why.
No, you doing. Oh yeah, you are lagging.
I'm lagging a little bit. I don't know why. Okay. This is what I'm going to do, right? We're going to get back to that challenge a little bit later on. It's no problem. We're going to get back to that challenge a little bit later on. Without further ado, Inky, the floor is yours.
Yeah,
All right? I'm going to
might just need to join our challenge. You know what I'm saying?
I'll join your challenge if you join mine. I'm going to play my challenge later. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn the floor over to you. I'm going to try to fix my technical difficulties. The floor is yours. Introduce yourself. Let the people know why you're here and what you're here to talk about. And take it away. I'll be right back if you need me to share the screen. Just give me about 2 or 3 minutes. But take it away, bro. It's all you.
All right. Peace to the family. For those that do not know me, I'm Dr. Enqi, a father of 10. You know, I raised my little ones. I have 5 little ones on my own. You know, their mom is the quintessential poster child for Kevin Samuels.
And this is what it feels.
Yeah, my phone be jumping. I'm a certified sports nutritionist, personal trainer, elite calisthenics specialist, master herbalist, and a certified naturopathic doctor. Right now, we're in the middle of changing the game in terms of diabetes. You know, I was able to put together a 10-year study via the 40-day fruit fast we run. And, you know, the study, the article, I want to say maybe 9 years we did it religiously, you know, and then, you know, I put out the article last February, and the article has since completely changed the landscape in terms of what we understood about metabolic disease and diabetes and metabolism. And, you know, so that has led us to working on a documentary film project. And, you know, that should be, we're doing a screening for it. Like that should be a primary objective for everybody to get to July 10th. We're doing it in upstate New York, Peekskill, at the Paramount Theater. So, you know, we box office with it. It's going to be a landmark moment. You know, it'll be one of those, it's going to be one of those situations where, like, for instance, I remember asking my father, you know, when Malcolm X was moving through Harlem and all of those things were going on, like, where were you, Dad? You know, and I wanted to hear that he was in that move, you know, that he was a part of somehow, you know, contributing to that movement. And you know, he was in his own, you know, it was a different space, you know, he was in. But, you know, this will be a scenario like that, you know, in 50 years, 20 years even, you know, your children may look back, if you identify yourself as somebody that was kind of like in the same spaces as I've been, you know, they may look back and say, when Dr. Enqi was changing the world, where were you at, Dad? Were you with Dr. Enqi? Were you supporting that movement? You know what I'm saying? Or were you doing something, you know, anything else? Because most, you know, if you're doing something else besides this right now, it's probably not as important, right? Just respectfully, you know, to all of the people that have platforms online. If you're not supporting this movement right now, chances are what it is that you're doing is not that important, right? You know, we're right now we're in a situation where we're we're moving into extinction type of indicators are popping up for the brown and black communities, at least in America. You know, globally, there's some stuff going on, but not like what's going on here, right? And what do I mean by that? You know, we're losing the ability to reproduce, right? So you've got a lot of families, brown, black, Spanish families that are making babies in jars, right? IVF babies because their vagina doesn't work. You have brothers walking around with fake penises right now, you know, because their penis, they lost their penile function, you know. So penis implants is a big thing going on right now. Penis replacement. You have a nationwide not breast milk. Well, that's the real issue, but you have a nationwide baby formula shortage, right? And what's behind the baby formula shortage is the fact that women are losing the ability to lactate. They can't produce milk from their breasts. So, you know, I'm always unpopular because I have a straight line and I don't really, you know, move. You know, I don't mind insulting people if they get insulted, but you know, I put it on folks like this. You know, we have the melanin versus diabetes, a movement, and the movement is a lot larger than me. It's very much not about me and more about our children. You know what I'm saying? But I just put it to folks like this: if you have sent more cash apps, to YouTube channels, then you have donated money for research on your own genetics, your own melanin, you know what I'm saying, your own epigenetics, then, you know, chances are that you're the problem. If you spent more money this year, if you spent more money this month on alcohol than you spent putting towards research for your children's genetic future, chances are you're the problem. If you spent more money on blunt wraps than you put to this type of research that I'm doing, chances are you're the problem. If you've spent time making videos about, anti-vaccines and all this, that, and the other, but you haven't put up any money to researching the alternatives to make sure that if people don't do those things, then they have other protocols in place, chances are you're the problem. If you spent more money making sure that you have subscriptions to Netflix and HBO and all these other channels to make sure you stay abreast of the latest TV shows, if you spent more money on TV shows than you spent on your own genetic research and development, chances are you're the problem. See, that is the real problem. We talk a great one, but when it comes down to walking that walk, we really not there in them spaces. You know what I'm saying? I'm alone in them spaces because I'm there in those spaces. As a naturopathic doctor, I have maybe access to spaces that holistic healers and YouTube gurus and herbalists offline, you know, Google herbalists, they may not have access to some of these spaces. And I'm alone in these spaces having these conversations. I'm alone in these spaces talking about the legislation that we need to put in place for our healthcare, you know, the way we want it to be for us, by us. So, you know, like, you know, it's really a important thing that we're doing right now with the summit. You know, we got a lot of folks that are supporting, you know what I'm saying, that I'm excited about. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of promotional sponsors that are, you know, and it's funny because most of the people that I would think that would be excited, that would be front line promoting this campaign, they're nowhere to be seen. Crickets, you know what I'm saying? I even have people that have taken my article And while at the same time not promoting what we're doing, they're trying to pass my research off as their own to generate income. And that would even be cool if they were circling the income back around to me so I could keep doing the research. I'm like, yo, you just stealing. Like, it's like, so, you know, I got to shout out the promotional sponsors, because, you know, these are the folks that are really behind the scenes trying to make sure that we take this thing to the level we need to take it to. So I want to shout out, of course, drenqi.com, but, you know, the Urban Nerds Foundation, Mr. G Photos. I want to shout out Fly Trap Gumbo. I want to shout out Smart Hip Hop, Fit for Life Personal Fitness Training, Child Support is Fraud, Lunchtime with Anna, the Urban Conservatives, MDR Inc., PK Blends, Do the Knowledge Radio, the Mind Plug Academy, and of course, I'm super excited to have Victor Bowman, Dr. Sabi's son, on board as a promotional sponsor. And you know, he let me know that you know, we got some folks out there in the background trying to do some positive, some real things. You know what I'm saying? So I want to shout out Kyrie Irving, you know, for being one of the folks that that's attempting to step up and really, you know, do the right thing and really do some legendary, you know, do some legendary things out here in legendary times. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but you know,
I don't great intro.
Yeah.
That's a great introduction. I like that last part, especially. Not only is he putting himself on the line and talking about Kyrie Irving, but he's putting his career on the line too. And it's sad because as I watch on television, the puppets, I don't want to call no names, or maybe I should, but the puppets that's on TV, the black ones, there's two of them. They're kind of downing him too, telling the Nets to trade him. Nobody should pay him. It's like they're sounding that Trump when that brother's only trying to bring knowledge to the people. So that's a damn shame, man. But yeah, shout out to everybody that's supporting what it is that you do, because you definitely do a lot and bring a lot of research and information to the community, which is extremely important, especially in this day and time with the advent of all these different quote unquote pandemics, right? We're getting ready to have another one now. They got the monkeypox, and we got all this stuff going on around here. You know, Enqi, I know you're here to talk about one thing, right? So we're going to get to what you're here to talk about first, but before you close out, you definitely got to hit that monkeypox just a little bit. So
monkeypox is not even a thing to worry about.
I know it's really not. But
if people, here's the thing: if people are, that's why, like, and this is kind of the same thing I said, you know, back 2019, 2020, when the you know, the pandemic, the other, you know, the situation was, I was like, we're not making no special products for it. We're not doing no special nothing for it. All of the folks that been with me doing the work and doing the research and studying, everybody was prepared. We didn't lose anybody. You know what I'm saying? We didn't lose anybody. You know what I'm saying? Of course, everybody came down and, you know, but no. We didn't lose anybody. Everybody was strong, and, you know, it was cool. It's just a matter that people don't spend any time on learning how their body functions. People don't spend any money and say, you know what, if I don't have the time to do this work, right? That's why we share money with other folks. So we go, okay, well, Inky has dedicated his life to just doing this work. So I don't have time to do this. I got to chase my bag. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to raise my kids. I got my dream, my business to build. Okay, we're going to make sure that we put this over there so that, you know, so now that I've taken all my stuff off YouTube and I'm on Patreon, it creates a different space now, because if you don't support, you'll just be left in the dark. You know what I'm saying? And hashtag sorry, not sorry. You know what I'm saying? It's over. You know, you online with the bozos. You know what I'm saying? You figure out what you figure out. But yeah, so we not, you know, the monkeypox is a variation on smallpox, and the Native Americans, along with a bunch of other folks around the world, have been able to, you know, so whether you're talking about modern medicine, being able to combat smallpox, or natural herbal, you know, just going back to nature and being able to combat it. both have a documented history of dealing with smallpox. So the monkeypox is not going to be that crazy. It's going to, you know, like every other virus, you know, is going to find those susceptible, and it's going to wreak havoc in those who are susceptible. You know what I'm saying? Like the old back in there was I forgot the name of it. Anyway, there was an event, and I was, you know, the coming up to the event, I was talking about horizontal gene transfer. And at the time, almost every YouTube personality, as usual, you know what I'm saying? Like they say, oh, he's making that up. He's not a real doctor. He's scamming. He's fraud. He made up that. That's horizontal gene transfer. Is not even a real thing. Now, me and the people who are educated in this space, we looked at everybody that said that as an admission that they don't really know anything about viruses, how viruses work with the animals in the organ. They don't understand ecosystem dynamics. This is now we're living in a time of horizontal gene transfer. So, you know, like this is just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like when I put out my article in February on diabetes, some of the things that I discovered during the 10-year study, you know, and people aren't used to that. Like, hold on, man, how you doing a 10-year study? You got gold teeth. Like, what, you know what I'm saying? Like just, but some of the things that I had said, again, he's making this up. He must be making this up because clearly he can't be smarter than all the doctors with the money that have the facility. He can't, how can he do this with 5 children? When God opens the door for you, no man can close that door. I don't need the tools that everybody else need because I got that. You know what I'm saying? So, but one of the things that I said was that, you know, insulin is not necessarily the master regulator of glucose metabolism. You know what I'm saying? In fact, insulin is the exact opposite. Insulin's job is to make you bigger. It's an anabolic hormone. You know what I'm saying? And not understanding that, you know what I'm saying, people haven't really checked the landscape. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody puts a diabetic on an herbal program, if they're not cured in 2 weeks, they saying that the herbs is a scam. But there's not one single human on this planet that has ever been cured of diabetes in any form by insulin. But you never see any of these goofballs saying that the doctors that prescribe them insulin or what, because it's brainwashing that we have to deal with. You know what I'm saying? So when I started to say, oh, well, you know, it's actually a melanin issue, right? It's actually a melanin issue. And the way that even without any research, we should have been knew that this was a melanin issue because brown and black people have a 200% risk factor to everybody else. So clearly, if you're just on a surface level, you go, well, what's the difference between us and everybody else? You gotta go, well, the pigment, right? Or at least the external pigment. And we should have started our detective work there, you know, but we have 2 major hormones in our brain that actually control glucose metabolism and some of these other things that, you know, people just didn't know, and nurses and doctors and patients included. You know what I'm saying? Because I had doctors and nurses that read through my article and was amazed. They like, yo, this is the moment when you have to leave the YouTube chitlin circuit. Like this has to go global. I don't know if you understand what you put in your article, but sir, this right here, this has to go. The world has to have this. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to be in a different stage with this. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a bunch of discoveries that I made firsthand just from my 10-year study that just wasn't out there. I mean, people that been diabetics for 5 or 10 years, they never even heard the term melanin concentrated hormone before. They was like, what is melanin concentrated hormone? And again, he's making that up. I was like, hold on. Let's take a quick break and open up a Google. Everybody can type in melanin concentrated hormone and see that there's actually a hormone in your brain, you know, and, you know, it sits in juxtaposition to melanin stimulating hormone. And these are the 2 hormones that actually regulate you know, your glucose metabolism and all of the things that, you know, obesity, diet, hunger, all of the things that we thought had something to do with insulin. You know what I'm saying? And now, you know, we're getting to, you know, since the release of the article and having these conversations, people are, you know, being able to look at these things in a different way. And there's a lot more information that I haven't even released yet. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be in the documentary. And, you know, we're going to show at the private screening July 10th in Peekskill. You know what I'm saying? Because I know the nature of the people. You know what I'm saying? I have more haters than supporters. So I knew that people would, you know, it was almost like a trap. You know what I'm saying? I just put the honey on the trap. That's all. And so now I'm looking at all of the goofballs running around trying to flip and bounce. You know what I'm saying? But one of the beautiful things about having a digital footprint is that, you know, people get to embarrass themselves in front of their audience all the time, because when you go in front of your audience and you try to present my research as yours, the people know you don't have a history of speaking on these subjects. So they know when you come in with something brand new and it looks outside of your dynamic, you know what I'm saying? And then when they find out that it came from, you know, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, then, you know, it just, you know, makes you look a little crazier, you know what I'm saying? But that's where we at, you know what I'm saying? So we doing a fruit fast, you know, 40 days. We launching it this week coming up. You know, I think we're going to start June 1st, maybe. And then we also have weekly classes to kind of go over. You know, I wanted to try to make myself available to everybody. So, you know, but it was difficult. So what I'm doing is the people that join Patreon is unlimited consultations. You know what I'm saying? Whether they tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, it doesn't matter. You still get unlimited access to me to walk you through whatever it is that you're trying to do, whether that's building muscle, you know, losing weight, or you have some health issues that you're trying to work through, or you're just trying to clean up the diet, whatever that is. You know, our Patreon little universe allows me the ability to work with a wide range of people all at the same time.
I got a question for you, Enqi. Let me get a chance. Go finish your thought. You know.
Go ahead.
So you just mentioned that you have some called the 40-day fruit fast, right? So since we're talking about diabetes, talk to us about the relationship between a lot of fruits and diabetes. I'll tell you why I ask. One of the things that's prevalent, especially for brothers and sisters in the Caribbean, who tend to eat a lot more foods from the ground. They eat what they call ground food and food from trees, but they also suffer from high levels of diabetes because they're eating so many fruits and so many yuccas and no? Okay, talk to me.
So one of the popular misconceptions over the years is, and there's a bunch of them. So as questions pop in your mind, fire them away. You know what I'm saying? Because it'll pull something to, you know, to the front of my mind, and we could go, you know, have some good combos. You know, people will get some good information. But one of the most popular misconceptions is that we need to like we equate sugar or you know, carbohydrates with sugar. And diabetes is not about carbohydrates. In fact, that's one of the most revolutionary aspects of what I came with in my article, right? And it's crazy because people have to realize we are the brown and black folks, the highly pigmented people, right? And I'm putting that way for a reason, right? The most insane mistake that we could make in our diet is to remove the pigment from it. So we have to be careful what we're saying and how we're saying it, because sugar is not the problem. The problem is sugar that's not coupled to pigment and fiber, and then also eating anything that's not coupled directly to our lifestyle, right? So here's a prime example, right? What many people don't know about food, right? And we'll just use the 3 macros to make it super simple, right? Because you have carbohydrates, which fruit would be a part of, right? Fruit is a natural carbohydrate. So I make a distinction between natural carbohydrates and processed. Processed carbohydrates have the pigment and the fiber removed, right? But natural carbohydrates still have the pigment, still have the fiber. With the pigment and the fiber, you're going to have no problem metabolizing the sugar. But what we have to understand is that fat is, it's a sugar storage. So fat, when you eat fats, those also become sugar, right? And then what seems to be like taboo, like a taboo subject, and you can't touch protein. Folks go crazy when you talk about protein, but the craziest thing about protein is that, well, I guess I should say this first. Your body doesn't store anything but sugar, right? So you have your protein, fat, and your carbohydrates. Your body does not store anything but sugar, right? So what's inside of a fat cell? So people say, oh, no, you got fat all over your body. Yeah, fat cells are stored sugar. That's what's in a fat cell. It's usually sugar coupled with phosphorus. That's what's inside a fat cell. Now, the tricky thing about protein is very, very, very dangerous, right? And here's the thing about protein. When I say protein, I'm talking about powder protein. I'm talking about animal protein. And drum roll, please. I'm talking about all vegan plant-based protein. Vegan plant-based protein, no matter what type of form you get it in, is just as dangerous as any other form if you don't understand that it has to be coupled to your lifestyle. So what do I mean by that, right? So I'll take it back to the beginning. Your body doesn't store protein. Your body doesn't store amino acids. So say, for instance, we're listening to all of these goofballs on YouTube, the guys that's either making up stuff or remixing somebody else's stuff because they don't do real research. They haven't sat up for 7 to 10 years up under no masters, and they ain't been to school nowhere to get no certification. So they qualify as goofballs, right? But they tell you, oh, you need to have protein in your diet. You need to have protein in your diet. Okay, so now you're getting 50 grams of protein, or because you thinking, oh, I want to be healthier, so I want to go get a smoothie, right? Smoothies is more dangerous. Smoothies right now in the general public just as dangerous as drill music. You need to make that the title of this video. Smoothies are just as dangerous as drill music, right? Because it's the blind leading the blind. So here's what happens with protein. When you don't need it, that's the key. When you do not have a protein demand, all of the protein you eat gets converted into sugar. So that means whether you having you a nice smoothie loaded up with 50 grams of hemp protein, whey protein, pea protein, whether you having a Beyond Burger, whether you having a pig's thigh, you eating chicken, you eating fish, it does not matter the protein source. If you do not have a requirement for protein, the protein is going to be converted into sugar. So because 99% of the people that have metabolic issues, you're not active. And even those that are active, what they consume outweighs their activity. So you don't have a need structurally for the protein, and your body doesn't store it. The only protein that's stored in your body is your tissues. So if you're not active, that means you're not breaking down the tissues. That means you're not really dealing with a high requirement for protein to repair those tissues. So all of that protein is going to be converted into ammonia, sulfuric acid, and sugar, right? So no, the game plan is not to avoid carbohydrates. The game plan is to maybe avoid processed carbohydrates. But natural fruits, you know what I'm saying? Now, with anything, there could be excess. So if people are just sitting down again and you had a bag of mangoes, like just because mangoes taste good, so you ate 5 or 6, 7, 8 mangoes, then clearly that's not coupled to your lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? You need to consume what you like, or everything you eat, fat, sugar, or protein is supposed to be based on your body's requirements. So that's the main thing. There's no real health changing without study. So there's no way for anybody to have long lasting, health without time in studying. You know what I'm saying? Like, people get frustrated with me because they want to spend money with me. And I'm like, hold your money. I need you to read this book. Hold your money. I need you to read this article. Hold your money. Join up to my Patreon page so you could get these studies, bro, so you can understand. You asking me dumb questions a lot of times, and I could tell, even if I give you the herbs or a diet plan or a food list, like we didn't have food lists floating around for the last 50 years in the community from different people. And if we want to take it to another level, the Bible provided us with a food list when that was given to us. It tells you in the first chapter what to do, what to eat, how to eat. And it's prophetic, because it's telling you then that you got to deal with the fruits and the plants with the seeds still in it. So that's telling you that was written for a time when the seeds would no longer be in the fruits and vegetables that it would be. So that already puts you to a whole nother level. Then what do Revelations tell you? Right? The agents of the pharmaceutical companies, pharmakia is going to be the end of the world. The chemicals, that's what they're telling you about. Return back to the plants. When, revelate, the herbs are for the healing of the nations, or the trees are for the healing of the nations. You know what I'm saying? So, and what did they roll out? It says the trees for the healing of the nations. And what did they roll out during the pandemic? They rolled out a variation of the cinchona bark. You know what I'm saying? So that was like a sign of the times. I was like, wow, okay. Because the hydroquinone, that's comes from the cinchona bark of that cinchona tree. You know what I'm saying? They make seltzer water from it and all kind of other stuff. But I'm saying, like, we have to learn. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to wake up and you about to, get into some activities, and you about to work out, or you about to hit the gym, or you about to have sex with your lady, whatever the case may be, well, sure. You need to have you some carbohydrates for energy. You know what I'm saying? You need to power up.
Hey, Enqi, real quick. I'm sharing my screen right now. They could see it. I don't know if you could see it, but I have the cinchona bark up there. So you said that was in what? That was in the shot, or
the hydroquinone. The hydroquinone, the pills that they was advocating early on.
Oh, the ones that Trump was advocating.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Hydrochloroquine. That's when he was doing. Okay.
There you go. That was the extra. That's a pharmaceutical version of an extract from this tree. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So, but most of the medications that are on the market that are effective come from plants. You know what I'm saying? The number one medicine for diabetics, metformin, comes from French lilacs. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's I just be laughing at bozos when they come with that energy, because I don't really occupy that space of, holistic healers versus the doctors. You know what I'm saying? When people come to me, a lot of times I send them to the doctors. You know what I'm saying? Because both are required. You know what I'm saying? You need medical doctors, you need surgeons just as well as you need nutritionists, trainers, dietitians. You need everything. And that's where we really can start to change the game and even the playing field, when we make that type of healthcare accessible to everybody, because that's what's happening for people with money. People with money, they're not dealing in this universe of either or. They're not dealing with either a naturopathic doctor or a medical doctor. No, when they get sick, they got the naturopath, they got the medical doctor, they got the surgeon, the nutrition, the chef, the vegan, the this one, the that one. They got a whole staff where everybody that's from their different discipline can come together and kind of collaborate and put together the best play to get them back, back in shape.
I got a question for you. A few years ago, and this can tie into what you're talking about now with the diabetes. Maybe it ties in, maybe it doesn't. You did a book a few years ago. I remember you were promoting it, probably the last time that you were on my channel. You did a book called "Eat for Your Haplotype." You already knew what I was going to say. You already knew what I was going to say. That's not good. You did a book called "Eat for Your Haplotype." How does that play into what you're dealing with now as far as diabetes? Do they walk hand in hand together, or what's the situation with that?
Well, at the time that I did the book, like all throughout the fast, when we were doing the fast, and the book actually has like an earlier version of the paper that I released in February. You know, it's called Water and Melanin. It talks about the epidemic of metabolic illness, and because these things that I'm dealing with, this is not new. Like people that may just get hip to me, like this might be the first time, but I've always been focused on the same line of study. These are childhood curiosities that I had since I was in grade school. You know, when they tell you things like this, and this is again another one of the discoveries that came out of the article, but we've all heard, for instance, well, what's melanin? You know what I'm saying? And they say, oh, well, melanin absorbs light. That's it. That's what you get. Melanin absorbs light. That right there plagued my mind. My whole life, that plagued my mind. Like it was an illness. I couldn't sleep at night wrestling with that since a kid. I'm like, the law of thermodynamics doesn't work with the law of thermodynamics. The law of thermodynamics says that energy can't be created or destroyed. So that means if melanin absorbs light, that means what's the next steps? That means if it's absorbing light, like right now, the people watching us, and I gotta keep saying this to everybody so we get it, because this is a crucial piece to why we have the 200% higher risk factor than everybody else for these illnesses, right? If melanin absorbs light, you have to say to yourself, what is it doing with that light once it absorbs it? Where is that light going? Because it has to be either re-radiated outward or it has to be transformed into something else that becomes usable for the body. And that right there was a mystery that, you know, I couldn't find the answers to. And, you know, and I studied all of the greats, you know what I'm saying? And these are legends, even in my household today, you know, Carol Barnes, T. Owens Moore, Richard King, and you know, on down the line in terms of melanin studies and research, and you know, what was it, the CMWR or the CMRW or the Council on Melanin and Research, something they had put together back in the days, the OGs, you know what I'm saying? Like I read all of their studies and, you know, moved on from those studies and started to read the studies, what they were doing in Europe. These guys here.
That was a good question, Enqi. I have to say, and I never really thought about it. He just said it. If melanin absorbs light, what happens to it after? Yeah, I can see that. Let me stop sharing my screen. Yes. Let me just put you on the screen by yourself. Hold on 1 second. Let me just put you on the screen by yourself. Right, and put you oops.
Right. But these guys here, these are studies that they had in Europe where they were doing their own like symposiums. Then this one right here is a collection of articles from the studies they were doing in Asia. And, you know, that's just what I could grab right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I got tons and tons of, and the answers were not there. I'm like, nah, you guys are still not addressing this issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so the institutionalized racism becomes more and more evident when you get deeper into the studies, because you will see where the game is played. So what they've done, what they've decided to do in order to advance global study, while at the same time not stepping on the landmine in the institutionalized racist, spaces, is they've shifted, and now the studies are on, chlorophyll. We're studying chlorophyll. You know what I'm saying? So You have a lot of goofballs. They ask me questions about, oh, well, Inky, talk to me about the quantum. Have you studied any of the quantum mechanics associated? I'm like, stop, bro. Because I could tell, like when people use a lot of big words, I could tell that they haven't really studied what it is that they're talking about long enough to internalize it and break it down even to themselves. If you understand the thing, you can simplify it and speak in layman's terms. If you don't, then you have to just use the same exact words that you read in the order you read them in so that you sound like you know what the fuck you saying. You know what I'm saying? But there is no quantum studies in a human body that don't involve melanin because it's the primary pigment. Now, it's not the only pigment, right? The same way we have eumelanin, pheomelanin, and neuromelanin, all races, white, yellow, red, brown, black, green, purple, whatever shade we come in, people, there's melanin. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't think you'd be a vegetable with no melanin, because no melanin includes no brain cells and no nerves, right? Because nerves and brain cells are neurons and they're neuromelanated, right? But you have a host of other pigments. You have the opsin family, you know what I'm saying? And the two primary that I discussed in the article are iodopsin and melanopsin. But those are prevalent pigments that are very important to our biochemistry. And then you have the globin family, which most people are only familiar with hemoglobin, but you have myoglobin, which is very important for folks that's trying to be physically fit and hit the pull-up bar or lift some weights or whatever, because myoglobin is the major pigment in all of your skeletal muscle and just muscle in general, that oxygenates and helps with the recycling of ATP, but then you have not just myoglobin, hemoglobin, but you got cytoglobin, neuroglobin, and you guys got a host of pigments in your body that have a whole different level of functioning that hasn't really been documented at all. You know what I'm saying? And because of that blind spot, that's why the people that have quote unquote dominant genetics have a 10-year shorter lifespan. Like, how do you have dominant genes in a shorter lifespan? Like these are all things that scientifically just didn't make sense to me. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. I hear y'all black militants, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I was born with uncles and cousins, and I'm like, whoa, but some of this shit ain't making scientific sense. How do we have dominant genes in a shorter lifespan? Somebody has to fill me in. And in today's world, we can't play no race cards because everybody is snorting the same cocaine, rolling the same blunts, drinking the same liquors, eating the same burgers, steaks, fast food. It's everywhere. When it's time for cookout time, everybody cooking out. White folks cooking out, black folks cooking out, Indian niggas cooking out, Chinese. It's not. So if we're all exposed to the same chemical load, how do the people with quote unquote dominant genes have a shorter lifespan? How do the people with dominant genes have a 200% higher risk factor for metabolic disease, Alzheimer's? Like, how is it that, again, and we're known for our prowess. I mean, Frances Cress Welsing, rest her soul, she was one of my idols. But she spoke about, penis envy, right? So how is it that the people that are the target of penis envy are now the #1 customers for penis implants? Meaning,
damn, I didn't know that.
Oh, what?
I know that we doing the Viagra and stuff, but I didn't know we was going for implant. I didn't know that.
But because we haven't really, again, we don't spend enough time. Folks got to put that bread up for the folks that's doing this work. You know what I'm saying? Because a part of doing the research is disseminating the research. So I could do the research, but if I can't, if the platforms are all goofy and it's a whole bunch of other shit, oh, he got gold teeth, then the information don't get out there. But see, there's a process. So we already accepted, which we never should have, but we already accepted that our lifestyle is leading us to either Cialis, Viagra, or a lot of these untrained goofballs that's making herbal formulas for your penis. You know what I'm saying? And when I say untrained, let me tell you how this works. You know what I'm saying? Because I know the holistic, the herbalist. This is why it's a lot of folks that's quiet. They don't want to promote my shit because they scared that I might jump on them next. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, hold on, I can't promote Enqi because Enqi might diss me next. You never know who Enqi get ready to point that gun at. You know what I'm saying? But here's how it works, right? And I'm gonna give you an example of how we are killing us, right? Folks will go, oh, because Google, we got access to Google. So impotence. So what's going on? Why is the brothers not getting why are they, poor blood circulation. Okay. So, hey, let me just Google search again. Herbs for circulation. And when you type in herbs for circulation, you're going to get like 1 million different herbs. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, 20 different herbs, whatever. So we got hustler mentality. And because of the way I talk, the way I walk, the way I speak, the way I look, they say, oh, he's not a doctor, he's a hustler. And if he's a hustler, I'm also a hustler, so I could hustle just like him. So some of this I take as a part of it's like Michael Jordan disease. When Michael Jordan made that commercial, maybe it's my fault. Maybe I made you believe that you could always hit the last winning game shot. Maybe I made you believe that you could just win every game because you didn't see all the times that I was in the gym. You didn't see all the times that I missed the last shot. You didn't see that Dr. Enqi at 44 years old has 38 years of studying the black body. So you thought that you could Google and remix and be me. So what happens is they Google herbs for impotence and they say, oh, look, here's 20 herbs. I don't need to follow Enqi or support Enqi or buy his shit. I can just make my own. So now they grab a whole bunch of herbs for circulation, mix them up and put them in capsules and sell it to their homeboy. And the homeboy takes it. And guess what? It's successful. My man's joint is hard as a rock within an hour or two. So now guess what? Hey, he thinks in his mind, I got a good product. This really works. Let me get me a website and start selling this to people. Not understanding how the body works, right? So here's how the body works. You have capillaries, which are very, very tiny, very, very tiny, and they're tiny for a reason, because they function as a part of the filtration system to protect fragile tissues from whatever you might have circulating in your blood, various acids, too much sugars, too large amino, just things that would damage the fragile tissues. So when we have impotence and we have circulation issues, it would seem common sense wise, if we don't know how the body works, that the first thing that we need to do to fix it is just open up circulation. But when you open up circulation, what you do is you allow all those sugars and all them toxins and all the stuff that's not supposed to be in those tissues to go into those tissues. So now when you're buying these herbs and Viagra's because you already lost a step already. So instead of doubling back and figuring out how to fix it, you go for the Band-Aid. The Band-Aid only lasts a certain amount of time where you forcing this dirty blood into your penis before you actually damage the tissues in your penis. And now it doesn't matter if you take the herbs, Cialis, and Viagra all together, your joint ain't going to get up. So now you've become a candidate for penis replacement. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I'm saying, like, this is dangerous. I just had a sister who had some issues with her vajayjay, and she went online. I'm not going to tell, too much of their business, but she went online and she bought, a detox, a vagina detox from another sister online, right? And put it into her vagina. Her whole body got swollen and she started bleeding uncontrollably. But she bought these herbs from a quote unquote herbalist online. And when she called me up for the consultation afterwards, I'm like, yo, well, let me ask you, who's this herbalist? Like, what was the ingredients in the herbs? Oh, there was no ingredients listed on the herbs or the website. She said it was a proprietary blend detox. I said, okay, well, did she, do you got a copy of the papers that did you send her, like your doctor papers? She was like, what you mean doctor papers? I never sent her no papers. She has one detox kit for all women. Whatever the problem is with your vagina, you're supposed to grab this kit and put it in your vagina and, you know, it fixes it. I could not help myself. You know, I had to apologize to her, but I couldn't help myself. I bust out laughing. You know what I'm saying? Because in my mind, like, that sounds like the dumbest thing on earth. Like, how did you let somebody give you some herbs for your vagina? They didn't know what was wrong with you. How are you giving somebody some herbs for something you don't know what the problem is? So, every single woman that has a vagina problem, take this set of herbs and put it up your vagina. And it's like, that's insane. A woman's vagina is like a fingerprint. A woman's vagina is like a fingerprint. Every one of them is unique because she's going to have a different blend of bacterias in there and hormone levels, and like it's you got to address that, you know what I'm saying, case by case basis. You know what I'm saying? So you can't just say, and then what if a person has a uterine issue or you know, a cyst, a fibroid versus a hormone issue? What if it's neurochemistry? You know, maybe like it's so many different issues that could affect somebody's vagina or their performance. Like, you can't just one size fits all for certain things. You know what I'm saying? So again, goofballs online that ain't really put no time in, that's trying to like I tell people all the time, you got to hustle in a different space. Hustle some t-shirts, my guy. Hustle videos or something. Like, hustle something that's arbitrary, but you can't hustle somebody's health. You know what I'm saying? That's not how that goes. You know what I'm saying? So I always be in the middle, because I send people, like I said at the beginning of the video, I send people to the doctor all the time. If you hit me up for a consultation, I'm going to ask to see your papers. Let me see what you got from the doctor. Because before I can even put a protocol together for you, I got to know what's wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? And you need to know what's wrong with you, because people think they know, but they don't know. Just like there's a lot of people walking around right now thinking that they don't have diabetes because they haven't taken a diabetes test. So because you haven't been checked out, you thinking in your mind that you okay. But I can tell you, it is almost impossible to be walking around fat and be okay. That's just not possible. If you fat, you are either in the beginning stages or you deep into diabetes and you don't know it. You're falling asleep at the wheel, sleep apnea. Your leg keep going numb and tingly and all that. Bruh, you playing. You need to go let them people check you out so you can figure out what's wrong with you, because the sooner we can jump on it, the higher the chances is that, you know, we can get the solution to you, whether you want to go with, you know, medicine or whether you want to go with a natural solution. But
So
yeah, go ahead.
Do you suggest, just randomly, do you suggest that people go for a checkup in general once a year, twice a year? And
first things first is always, people need to invest time and money into learning how their body work. Time and money into learning how your body work will save you time and money other places. Because, you know, as much as people highlight doctors that don't do a good job, or doctors that are not well informed, or doctors that make mistakes, there's plenty of doctors out there that's doing a decent job. You know, like we might all have family members that's doctors and this, that, and the other. They're not a part of no conspiracy theory goofball, you know, like, so, but the problem comes in where we don't know our own body. So even if the doctor tell us something, we don't even know what that means. We just like, yo, doc, so what's the prescription? Like, what do I do? What do I do to fix it? You want to jump to that. You know what I'm saying? People hit me up. They're like, oh, Inky, what's the problem? What do I do to fix it? What you're going to do to fix it, my guy, is you're going to start reading. We're going to start right there. We're going to start reading first. Because if you don't know how your body works, if you go get a checkup and the doctors say whatever's going on with you, you know what I'm saying? You know, you're losing left ventricular function. What the hell does that mean? You're losing left ventricular function. What does that mean? You lost left ventricular function. Or they're like, hey, well, you know, your pancreatic exocrine function is at 90%. You don't know what that means. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta learn. We gotta get real knowledge of self. I've been saying for the longest. You know what I'm saying? Nation of Islam members, gods and earth, they be mad with me sometimes. I'm like, bro, you don't have real knowledge of self if you don't know how your body works. This is self. This is self. If you do not know how this works, you don't have knowledge of self. It's just that simple. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how your muscles connect to your bones. You don't know what the in between there. You don't know how a muscle works. You don't know what's a motor unit. You don't know the sets of pigments. You know, folks still walking around thinking, oh, he got melanin on his shirt. That must be that black thing because white folks don't have melanin. I'm like, wait a minute. In 2022, is that the conversation we still having? Like we don't know what neuromelanin is. We don't know what a brain cell is or a nerve cell. Like, and let me tell you, people don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, matter of fact, let me show you and your audience the trailer for our documentary that we're screening at the event.
All right, family. And while he's looking for the documentary, make sure you brothers and sisters hit the like button and support the brother. And before he leaves, I'm gonna have where he leaves gives us all his information where you guys can find him if you guys have further questions, if you want to learn more. You know, Dr. Enqi is like an encyclopedia, right? He's bringing up information and words that I'm not even really familiar with myself. And that's why I'm about to share his documentary now. And he could talk about this afterwards. One of the worst things that the powers that be did to our people, man, they discouraged STEM. Like the S in STEM is science, man. Like our people don't
listen, that's because all power is there.
Right.
All power is there. So like when people don't understand the importance of what I'm doing, I have to pull it out for them. I have to say, okay, well, let's talk about, you know, what excess blood sugar does, because that's what really diabetes is. No matter what type you're talking about, we're coming down to excess blood sugar. Excess blood sugar is the reason that we have a herpes craze. See, people don't understand herpes, excess blood sugar, fibroids, excess blood sugar. The number one cause of heart disease, the number one killer. The number one cause of heart disease is excess blood sugar. The number one cause of Alzheimer's disease and dementia, excess blood sugar. ADD, ADHD with the excess blood sugar. The number one cause of mental health and violence, excess or hypo blood sugar, too little blood sugar. Blood sugar can control your moods, literally. You know what I'm saying? Like we just don't have any idea about the panorama associated in this. And I could keep going on to, you know, endometriosis, diverticulitis, blindness, going deaf, amputations. There's 200,000 people get amputated a year. 80% of them is due to diabetes. You know what I'm saying? Like when we see a lot of the military veterans, you know what I'm saying? Most of the military veterans that we see that lost limbs, they didn't lose limbs at an explosion carrying children out of a building. They lost limbs because they had diabetes. You know what I'm saying? And I know firsthand because I really do this for real. So I really am in hospitals with cancer patients in the oncology ward. I'm really at the veterans hospital holding these veterans' hands, telling them what to eat. This is how we need to change this up. I'm regardless to what niggas see me do online, they don't understand that I'm 44. So I see online differently than a lot of the people today, because most people think that their life is totally online. For me, online is a video game. It's a play. It's an accessory. It doesn't replace real life. You know what I'm saying? So people know me from veterans play these places really getting it in real time. And I'm talking like, this, and it's crazy. It breaks my heart to see some of these things going on because people don't understand that there's an economic plan laid out from the very first day that you get diagnosed with type 1 or type 2 diabetes. You know what I'm saying? They know, okay, it's a certain amount of time until they're going to be, you know, like type 1, you immediately insulin dependent. But a lot of type 2 people don't understand that you're on the path to type 1. So it's only going to be a certain amount of time before you become type 1. You're going to be insulin dependent pretty soon. You may not have the antibody production, but you will have to take that needle all day, right? So then that only lasts 10 years, 15 years at tops before now you got to get an amputation. And then once you start getting amputations, they know that it's only 5 to 8 more years before you're dead. Like that's how that goes. You know what I'm saying? So it fucked me up finding out Deion Sanders just got a couple of cold toes cut. You know what I'm saying? Like that was insane for me. You know what I'm saying? And what made it more insane was the news about him getting his toes cut came out at the same time as his commercial for KFC. I said, what? I said, 2 + 2 is going to be 4 every single time. So we cut toes off at the same time as hey, nobody beats KFC. Like, come on, bro. Like, this is like, so that's why I'm saying, like, and it's not, I can tell that, again, if I ask Deion Sanders, you know what I'm saying? How much money have you put into this research? How much money, Deion? How much money, you know, from John Q, little guy that's just living his regular life, taking care of his family, all the way up to the biggest, most powerful millionaires and billionaires. How much money have you yourself put into this research? So we don't have a right to complain. We don't have a right to blame white folks. We don't have a right to blame the system. We have enough money, and we have geniuses that walk amongst us. Every generation that does this work, and they don't get supported. Everybody right now is jerking off Sebi's nuts. But all these people that's hollering Dr. Sebi, whether they singers, dancers, actors, whatever, how much money did you put into Sebi's pocket when he was saying, hey, I'm trying to raise money to put clinics in schools everywhere? Where was the bags at? Where was all the Sebi supporters then? Now Sebi's dead. Now man, Dr. Sebi was amazing. But he's gone though. So you don't, now you can't do that. Now we here. So now where is the money? Because one thing we know for certain is that no matter what pandemic is here, none of these pandemics comes close to diabetes. No gang banging, no black on black crime, not AIDS, not cancer. None of that has killed more brown and black people globally than diabetes.
One second, Enqi. Let me just go back for a second. I don't think that's what you meant, but somebody asked the question, so I'm going to ask it to you. They said, ask you why it is that you don't mess with Sebi. No, I didn't hear you say that, but that's what they heard. So is that true?
I love and champion Sebi.
I know you do, but that's why I was like, I think they just didn't understand what you were saying.
I'm the guy that when people talk reckless, I pop up. You know what I'm saying? So that's cool that they asked the question, because questions like that, I'm always into human nature. So I know that that's either a troll or that's somebody that just is innocently not aware of me. So they don't really know how like for instance, when I come on your channel, right? There's going to be a group of people that go, man, Inky, where you been at? What you been doing all this time? You ain't been on YouTube in years, brother. Where you been at all these years? See, that just tell me where you been at, not where I've been at, because I've been online, even though I'm not on YouTube. All my channels deleted, courtesy of my haters on YouTube. But I'm still on YouTube. Like every day, I got 2, 3, or 4 different YouTube channels that I'm on speaking just like this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm all, and my IG, and I'm always like I'm around. I'm never not around. You know what I'm saying? So, but back to what I'm saying though, people have to really step up and take this further. You know what I'm saying? Like we are very selfish and arrogant as a people. We only think about ourselves, and we think that that's not us. People think that I'm not talking to them when I'm talking to them. You know what I'm saying? But if you walking around and you're eating vegan and you got a gym membership and you buying your child Lunchables and Happy Meals, you should be ashamed of yourself. You're the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, this is the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, people have spent more money with Nike than they have on their own genetic research. Like how much money have you put into you? How much money have you put into your epigenetics? How much money have you put into securing your children's future? Because there is no generational wealth that you're going to generate from the stock market or doing bonds or NFT or doing any of those other things. The only real value on this planet is in your DNA. So we got goofballs. Oh, Enqi, you know, I'm working focused on this back. Money is only as important as what you do with it. Money is only as important as where you spend it. Accumulating a lot of money doesn't make you important. It doesn't make you a legend. It doesn't make you somebody that we need to look up to. It's what you do with the money. I had a guy in my neighborhood, Mr. Carter. He had a regular city job. You know what I'm saying? But all of us who parents was around, who parents might have been on drugs, or we was in the schools wilding, or we was in the street wilding, Mr. Carter, off his regular little 9 to 5, he made sure that he took us to little baseball games and got little community projects together and had after school so the kids had something to do besides. He was way more important than an Elon Musk. These niggas running around talking about Elon Musk. Are we following Elon? Why are you following Elon? Investing in Elon, following what Elon does, only invest in Elon's epigenetics and his genetic future. You're generating generational wealth for Elon. You're not generating generational wealth for you, for your children. Elon's
so funny,
wealth is not yours.
Right. You know what's so funny, Enqi? If money was the be all end all, Steve Jobs would still be alive. Look how much money he had. He died of freaking cancer.
Steve Jobs, one of my favorite guys. You know what I'm saying? Steve Jobs, one of my favorite guys. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, people have a problem with me even when I say that. They be like, oh, Steve Jobs, a white guy. How you saying one of your favorite guys? Shit, one of my favorite guys is Fat Joe. And Fat Joe is a white guy.
Okay, now you going off, man. I don't fuck with Fat Joe. Sorry.
My point is whether you do or you don't.
Yeah.
I had a lot of controversy on my IG page because I'm having an argument with folks. They like, yo, Fat Joe is a black person. I'm like, where? Fat Joe has blonde hair and green eyes. How could he be like, how? Like, in what universe? I'm like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, no, we got to get past all these confusions because somebody say, oh, we don't like black men that have white girlfriends, but these same people will have a Puerto Rican girlfriend. I'm like, I'm sorry, you niggas must be confused. So it's okay to have a white girlfriend if she speaks Spanish, but if she speaks English, then it's problematic. You niggas confused between haplotypes, blood types, bloodlines, and nationhood. See, all them things bleeding together with language and making people confused. Because I know people that speak 5 or 6 languages. So what does that mean? What does that mean? That means they're all them different groups? No, we got to stop this. Maturity has to take place. We got to get past them petty differences. And anyway, yeah, let's get to the trailer.
Let's get it.
Hold on.
Dangerous neighbor. This is a story of how a young black boy abandoned in the most dangerous neighborhood in America with no formal education would do, with no doctors, no scientists in the world could do, not even with billions of dollars in budgets, the most cutting edge technology to go with it. I mean, David and Goliath proportions, all while being a single father, battling a deadbeat baby mother, a broken system in a sick community that lost its identity centuries before he was even a twinkle in his mother's eye.
What is melanin? Melanin?
Heard of melanin?
Have you ever heard of melanin before? You ever heard of melanin before?
So melanin? No, never heard of it.
Have you ever heard of melanin before?
No. I guess this is where it starts with the nurse and doctor shortage in America. See, a nurse had done a triple shift at work, and while driving home like any other day, this day on Webster Avenue in the Bronx, on this day, she fell asleep at the wheel and ran over 3, not 1, 3 of my daughters. My daughters had minor damage. However, the youngest, Amber, had a broken neck, a broken spine in 3 places, a completely crushed pelvis. Her left leg was crushed. Her left foot was crushed. They said she would be lucky if she made it out of ICU, but they didn't think she would make it. And if she did, she would never walk again. I had survived crack houses, dope dens, knife fights, shootouts, but nothing prepared me for that day. I remember right after 9/11 having a seizure and my heart stopped. I flatlined on that table for almost a minute, got up, healed myself, but still, nothing prepared me for that day. Or at least so I thought. But over the next few months, what God and I had accomplished with Amber, it was just the beginning. This is where it all started. Right here, 158th Street in the Bronx. My father was selling heroin. My mother was smoking crack. No one could imagine I would grow to become the world's leading naturopathic doctor on type 2 diabetes. Truth is, neither could I. My father and his friends made millions of dollars in Harlem selling heroin, selling plants. I too was destined to make millions from plants. The only difference is that while they would become known as American gangster, I would become known as the American healer.
Yeah. So we
All righty then. That was good, man. That was good. That's what's up. I'm looking forward to it. So, what's the time frame for that coming out?
July 10th. July 10th is going to be the screening, and then there won't be a live streaming. You know, nobody will be able to record at the screening. So only way for people to see it early is to be there. You know, because you know, folks, you know, this is going to be an actual film. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be like a YouTube thing. So we're going to see if we can get a nationwide release in theaters. That's what we're working on. You know what I'm saying? To have it, you know, released nationwide in all movie theaters. If not, plan B, you know, we have some folks at Amazon interested, some folks at Netflix interested. So, you know, this is that. Like I said, when this thing do what it's when this thing do what it do in 10 years, 20 years, folks, you know, your children might be saying, hey, when Inky was changing the world, was you with Inky or you was doing something that way? Was you at? Because, you know, if we look back at the YouTube community, we done, you know, this is not like, so I want people to understand that this is more than what they're used to. Because what people are used to are lectures and basically to sell some products. So you go into an event to hear a lecture and buy products. Like, this is not that. You know what I'm saying? I may not even have any products there. Like, this is not that. What we're trying to do is get actual clinics built and pass legislation, you know what I'm saying, that is going to support these things. So, you know, shout out to the governor, shout out to the mayor in New York, and shout out to, you know, the Republicans and the Democrats and, you know, the street guys and everybody that all of the people that you thought would not be supporting this. You know what I'm saying? Like that, those are the people, the everyday folks, the fathers, the mothers from the hood, not conscious. I don't have a contingent of conscious, holistic niggas saying, Inky, go, we behind you all the way. No, those are the goofballs trying to steal my shit and flip and bounce. Like, oh, he's off YouTube? We could fill his spot. No. You know what I'm saying? Like, the people who we would think would be trying to shut this kind of thing down are the people saying, yo, this guy's science is solid. We don't care if he has gold teeth. We don't care if he has no teeth. We don't care if he has purple teeth. We don't care if he says F 10 times per, you know, we don't care how much he cursed on his videos. We don't care if he wears hat backwards. We don't care about none of that, because we've had all the folks with the white jackets and the suit and ties and the $1 million facilities and $1 trillion, you know, backing and all that. And they haven't been able to do what this young man has been able to do with shoestring budget, raising 5 children at the same time by himself. You know what I'm saying? So now the conversation is, hey, he needs the help. And then there may be others like him. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pushing for a universe where, you know, this thing is legitimized. You know what I'm saying? I want to see a question for you, bro. Before you go there, I want to see Victor, Dr. Sebi's son. I want to see him be able to actually walk into a hospital and work with the doctors and consult maybe on some patients. You know what I'm saying? I want to see KT working at Emory or Grady in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? I want to be in the hospital out here in Detroit, or be able to freelance and bounce around. And, you know, what if we were in a universe where people could use their Medicaid card to get their CMOS and their herbs now? What if you could go to the vitamin shop or GNC with your Medicaid card? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if if you could go to Dr. Sebi's spot in LA and use your EBT? Like, see, that's the type of shit, you know, I'm on that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Future shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if we, you know, this shit becomes a curriculum in schools where now this is what kids is learning for 5th, 6th, 8th grade. Like, this is a part of their biochemical studies. Like, they need to have biochemical studies with these things in it. Your metabolism is not in your science classes. How is that possible? You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the things that, you know. So anyway, go ahead. I know you had a question.
No, it's along the same lines. You know, you're known for giving out a lot of information, but one thing I noticed with Black folks is that, let's say, God forbid something was to happen to you tomorrow. A lot of the information that you have would die with you tomorrow, unless you have an apprentice. I don't know if it's your sons or whatever, but who is to?
Let me tell you,
coming up.
Yeah, listen.
Yep.
I watched that with Sebi. I watched that with, you know, Dr. Africa. Like we lost a lot of monumental, legendary community activists, you know, from Baba Kalindi to Francis Cresswell, like all in a Dick Gregory, even throw them all in, you know, even though he had his bohemian diet, you know, you know, but all of these guys, you know, they contributed in one shape, form, or fashion, some more than others, you know what I'm saying, to raising the awareness of what you put in your mouth. And I saw the effects of that. So I immediately, you know, I put extra effort in. But for the people that know me, I've never been like product first or sell first. You know what I'm saying? Because my thing has always been information. Like my thing has not been to make money. You know what I'm saying? I come from a family of, like, my dad was one of the, you know, he was a Harlem heroin dealer. Like with, you know, I got that type of background. You know what I'm saying? My cousin is one of the founders of Don Diva magazine. You know what I'm saying? He founded Don Diva magazine not because of, you know, because he had access to those people. You know what I'm saying? You don't get access to those people that were in the Don Diva and then later on the spinoff, you know, like a Feds man. You don't have access to those type of people unless you are those type of people. You know what I'm saying? Red Pill and Blue Pill years ago. You know what I'm saying? They had Big Meech call in from federal penitentiary on their Blog Talk radio show. You know what I'm saying? And I cussed those niggas out after that show because they had a laundry list of shout outs that they gave out on that show, but they didn't say my name. And I'm the one who got him on their show because my cousin, again, he is the one who put the call in like, hey, I want you to call into these guys' Blog Talk radio for me because I hadn't seen my cousin in a while. Blue Pill gave me his phone number. So as a thank you gesture for him, you know, I was like, yo, you know, yeah, I'll get Big Meech to call into your show. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. Like, so money, like if this was about money, I'd be doing some other shit. I'm here because I love this. I don't have felonies on my record. I was making $70,000 a year at Verizon selling phones. Like I came to do this because this is my passion. This was on my heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I do. Now, in terms of students, my students have already all over everywhere because my whole thing was to duplicate the information. The Eat Right for Your Haplotype book. When you go through this book has the protocols in it from A to Z. Diabetes, cancer, this one, that one, weight loss, all the protocols, the nutritional protocols that you need to implement as a baseline for recovery for all those different things. But again, my students have been all over the world. And I'll tell you a quick story about me. Like, I'm a person that I like to listen to motivational speakers. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I have a few favorites, but two of my favorites influenced me to move to Michigan. You know what I'm saying? Well, one really, E.T. the hip hop preacher. You know what I'm saying? E.T. the hip hop preacher is like, you know, at my lowest moments, it was E.T. to inspire me. You know what I'm saying? In my lowest moments, it was Les Brown to inspire me. I listened to them. I swear by them. Right? So fast forward. Now, this is how it works. And this is why I tell people to just put the money up because you don't understand how far reaching what I'm doing goes, right? I'm watching Les Brown. I done been to a couple of Les Brown like lectures, bought his books, tapes, all this shit. E.T. the hip hop preachers in my playlist to the point where my children got his shit memorized. If you gotta go, you know, like if you want to breathe, you know what I'm saying? You gotta want it like you want to breathe and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, mixtapes, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? But when E.T. the hip hop preacher decided that he needed to change and start incorporating herbs and plant-based into his life, his cousin, a student of mine, and an indirect student. I don't want to take her shine, her credit. But then my student directly, Asa, and Asa has his book, and he's on book tour, and everybody need to grab that and support Asa. But Asa was the one that E.T. got in contact with so he could learn holistic health and how to incorporate the herbs and the plants into his diet. So So me looking up to ET for motivation and Les Brown, right? Asa, because not only did Asa the consultant, I guess, or the holistic consultant or practitioner for ET, the hip hop preacher, but Asa's also the the holistic health consultant for Les Brown, and Asa's my student. So my student is working on Les Brown and ET, the hip hop preacher. You see what I'm saying? I have not met Nipsey Hussle's family, but I have students that was out there teaching Nipsey Hussle's family how to eat. My students. I have not been interviewed on the Breakfast Club, but my students were on the Breakfast Club multiple times because Angela Yee's best friend had fibroids and they got rid of them. One of which, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Amun and Amsu, by the way. But one of which is 21 Savage father. So now 21 Savage, the rap 21 Savage, his father is my student. And he's a holistic practitioner. Like, so in terms of that, I done already, like, this is, I'm a person that I've taken my time to invest in the next generation. You know what I'm saying? Whatever I have, whatever little money, whatever time I have, I invested into the next generation. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's sponsoring, you know, talent, like, you know, people saw me on the road with HaHa Davis. You know what I'm saying? They see me on Hot 97 with HaHa Davis, and HaHa Davis is like, no, Dr. Inky done got me together. And no, I'm on the herbs and I'm reading the book and I'm studying with Dr. Inky. And now if you go to HaHa Davis page, HaHa Davis got a whole nother page of HaHa Davis Fitness. This nigga is in the gym looking cut, trim. He done lost damn near 100 pounds. So in terms of, this is why I tell people, you can't get caught up into foolishness online, because I'm in the real world actually doing real work. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a, you know what I'm saying? And I could keep on, the longer I could think of more people, you know what I'm saying? But like, this is a real thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying, even case in point, give you another example right now. The reason why we have the Paramount Theater in Hudson Valley, New York, is because the article came out. The article had impact. Shout out to Knowledge. Do the Knowledge Radio. Knowledge is like, yo, this is getting crazy, bro. I got to try my best to get you on the largest, you know, to make this as visible as possible. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to do a diabetes summit, and we putting it together. My guy, Rob, he finds out and he's like, yo, respectfully, what y'all doing is not exactly big enough. I got to get y'all to a bigger stage. Now, here's the thing with Rob. Here's how Rob's story goes. One day I'm in the National Black Theater. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even me teaching or none of that. You know, I'm in the side vending, selling my stuff at a table, you know, my little books and herbs, whatever. And so a guy kind of walks up to me, super cocky. You know what I'm saying? He like, yo, Ink, you don't know me. You know, my name is Rob, whatever. You know, I don't fuck with this conscious shit. You know what I'm saying? But I came down here because I wanted to holler at you. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, so as much bullshit as I stay in, you know, at this point in the conversation, I'm not sure if this shit going left or what. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I want to holler at you. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, yo, you know, by my mom's, they said she only got a certain amount of weeks. I think they gave her a couple of weeks or a couple of months to live. And because she had sarcoidosis, which is an autoimmune disease, and they had tried everything and they just, you know, there was nothing they could do for her. And he was like, you know, I love my mom. I'll do anything for my mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you could do that shit you be saying you could do online with my mom, bro, I'm gonna change my whole life around. I'm gonna start doing this and that, and I'm gonna promote your stuff, and I'm gonna sell your stuff. I'm gonna be your #1 student, and blah, 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 blah. Everybody says shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I started working on his mom. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a couple months later, we got his mom together. Rob is going crazy. Like, yo, my mom went to the hospital. They said she good. They don't even know what happened. I'm like, keep it that way. Keep it that way. Let them get credit. Let them say spontaneous remission or some shit. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, Rob is like a super. Some people take their word more serious than others. You know what I'm saying? Rob is one of those people. He's like, yo, now I got to do what I said I was going to do. So Rob eventually opens up a juice bar where he's selling my herbs and my books at the juice bar. And he's like studying. And every time he learned a little bit more, he's going to like a senior citizen, or he's going to a children. He's going to first grade, and he's talking to elementary school students. Like, he's everywhere he can be, teaching people the information up around, upstate New York, where he opened up the juice bar, selling the stuff and all that. So he has such a powerful impact on the consciousness and the health of the people in that city, upstate New York and Peekskill. They elect him to city council. So now Rob is a city councilman. So now as a city councilman, Rob says, oh, we need to double back. Now that you done got this thing to a certain level, we need to open this up for the people, and we really need to, make this a health initiative. You know what I'm saying? And we need to kick this thing off. So that's how I'm even in that space. You know what I'm saying? But again, these are all students, because I'm always information first. Like throughout the course of this video, I keep telling you, when somebody comes to me for help with something, and they come with their wallet open, or they come to buy, I'm like, let's get to these books. Let's do this reading. Let's hit these articles. I need you to learn. You know what I'm saying? My thing is not fish. My thing is teaching you how to fish. I need to teach you how to fish, and then I can get out your way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just need a shout out every so often. That's all I'll be looking for. Like, yo, shout out to Dr. Inky. Dr. Inky got me together. Because folks change their life. They change the lives of others. And then a lot of folks, they make businesses and do their thing. They, I just need a shout out. Like, yo, peace to my guy, Dr. Inky out there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it's a lot. I could keep going down the line of, like, that's the thing that I prioritize most, is making sure that we don't have another incident where we got to think like, damn, what about all that genius information that this person or that person, you know what I'm saying? Like, where would Apple be right now if Steve Jobs was still alive? You know what I'm saying? Or what would the next Biggie album sound like? Or what would Pac have been able to do in the community if he really had it? You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, we don't get to wonder that, because my people are already gone. The information is already on multiple continents. And I got people like that. I'm describing what's going on here in the States. I got people like that in Canada. You know what I'm saying? Women that couldn't have no babies, they got babies now. So that type of impact that transforms these people. They don't care what anybody says about me online. You couldn't have a baby. It's some women that couldn't even use the synthetic drugs to get pregnant. I got them together. You know what I'm saying? So this is different continents. I got people like this in France, people like this in Australia, people like this in Africa. That's so we moving. You know what I'm saying? This information already gone.
All praises. So listen, man, let the people know where they could find you, how they could support you, so forth and so on, before we close out. Whatever you want to say to them, you got the floor, bro. It's all yours. Take it away.
You can find me out here in these streets, my nigga. Patreon.com/Dr. Inky. Right, that's where we want you to go to join up for all of the videos, my 15 years worth of library, the books, the articles, all those things are there. The weekly classes, the 40-day fast that we got going on, and understand, like, what the things that I'm saying and the things that I'm doing. When you go to the Patreon to sign up, that's what your money is going towards. If you send me a Cash App $ Minister Inky, that's what your money's going to. It don't just stop with me, because like I'm explaining, my research is already gone outside of me. So you're influencing people through me. You know what I'm saying? So you may not understand that you might have bought you might have sent me a $20 Cash App somewhere. You don't really understand the butterfly effect of your investment in me and my research, and how that cycles back around to the greater community. You know what I'm saying? So, outside of that, we just got to stop being bozos. You know what I'm saying? And we got to be focused on, the real thing out here. You know what I'm saying? It hurt my heart. It hurt my heart to listen to the Bobby Shmurda freestyle and to see Funk Master Flex responds to it. I'm like, bruh, you too old for that, man. K Slade just died. Like, I'm looking to see, like, in my mind, you know what I'm saying? Like, DJ Clue, he came on Math Hoffa John, and he was like, oh, you know, I was disappointed at the people that didn't show the K Slade's funeral. Like, bruh, forget about who showed up to the funeral, man. How many of you that's so distraught and heartbroken about K Slade dying are now saying, yo, we getting ready to put some money in the Melanin jar? See, that's what I'm saying. We got to pass the Melanin jar. We got to put the money up, because otherwise K Slade is just another nigga in the endless cycle of niggas that's going down from metabolic disease. You don't have a battle. Listen, it is impossible for a healthy person to have a 4.5-month battle with COVID. Okay, that's not a real thing, people. That is fake. That means that there was a whole bunch of other health conditions there. And that's why I was saying earlier, you cannot be fat and not be sick. That's just not a real thing. So everybody that you see that's fat is carrying disease with them. Everybody that's you see is fat is carrying disease with them. Most of them is on medications. Most of them need pills to have sex. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, bro. We can't watch somebody fat for 20 years and then we surprised when they passed away in their mid-50s. That doesn't even make any logical sense. That tells me that we all idiots, because we should have expected it. We should have expected him to die maybe even sooner. Oh, Inky, you bugging. No, I'm not. If we don't take our health serious, it will be gone. See, that's a part of my story. Having experienced flatline, I get it in a way that maybe other folks cannot. Every day you hear is a blessing. When people ask me, yo, how you doing? I say, I'm alive. That is it. That's my answer. How am I doing? I'm alive. I'm in a world of everlasting change. You could wake up a millionaire and go to sleep broke. You could wake up broke and go to sleep a millionaire. In this universe we in, everything is possible. So all you need to do is just be here, alive. That's the most important thing. We take that for granted. You know what I'm saying? E40 put out a song about his family dying from diabetes and all that. And then what did E40 do? Do E40 put money into the Melanin jar? No. E40 opens up a sausage business and an ice cream business. Bruh, what are we doing? That's what I'm saying. What are we doing, bro? Funk Master Flex, you too old to listen to Bobby Shmurda talking about, yo, I shot a nigga yesterday, and you making the faces and oh, it's amazing. Like, bro, come on, man. Stop that. And Flex, you've been fat for too long too. You should take a sample from K Slade. Like, you need to revert. We need reversal, bro. And we need people to start saying that these things is whack. If they whack, we scared to say shit is whack. So instead of saying shit is whack, we be like, I know I felt the energy. The energy was real. Nah, what the fuck are we talking about, bro? Is it real when the bullet go through your window and hit your kid? Because that's the same energy. That's niggas got to stop playing. I was lucky. I was lucky to be in Clubhouse and have about a 25-minute conversation with Young Thug Father. You know what I'm saying? And before I got on the line with Young Thug Pops, shout out to him, it was a lot of goofball conversations going on in there. A lot of meat riding. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we got free Young Thug. The white man trying to shut down the black man. Like, bro, what are you talking about, bro? And that's when I realized we had to have these conversations on what it means to be black. A lot of people think that what black culture is the Draco, is the I got the kilo and like, what do you do? That's not black culture, bro. That's not black culture. So a lot of things that we think might be racism is not. It's ignorance and people defending ignorance. This is why there's people that don't understand how when other black people from other nations come to America, they shy away from the American black. And they say, oh, they think they too good for us. No. They don't think they too good. They just don't identify with the things you identify with as black culture. I'm Haitian. I know it to be a fact. The moment that you meet some Haitians or you meet some Africans or you meet some Jamaicans and you say that a part of your black culture is eating Chinese food, chicken wings and French fries. Oh, they don't identify with that. Well, we must be different people then. Because something's wrong with these niggas over here. The moment that you identify with McDonald's and Burger King as black culture, something's wrong with these niggas. The white folks have got them. They're confused. The moment you identify with snorting cocaine, popping Xanny bars, drinking lean, all that is black culture, you confused. You just alienated yourself from the rest of the brown, black, and Spanish people on earth, because nobody with a brain would identify as crime as a part of their culture. Even Italians, and we know Italians for all of the goddamn mob movies, they do not identify with crime as a part of their culture. They see crime as a means to an end, so that their families that came here poor could generate some wealth for themselves and take care of themselves by any means necessary. But they don't identify with that as a culture. They saw that as a means to an end, a way to generate a bag and then put their kids in school, raise their families, get legitimate businesses, open construction companies, open some entertainment businesses, open a gambling. What are we doing? Oh, I got the Draco. Yeah, I didn't catch that body. I didn't kill somebody, but I got something to do with that body. Like, what are we talking about? Did you confuse how you got locked up? My God, nigga, that's your lyrics. Your lyrics literally says, I didn't kill nobody, but I got something to do with that body. Like, huh? What? How are we confused that you got locked up? There's no confusion. You're admitting to multiple crimes, even if they real or fake. We got to realize. You keep saying that it's going to be too long before people believe you. So, no, when I got on the phone with them, I was highly respectable because I know that he's an older gentleman and we're talking about his son. So no matter what crimes your child commit, that's still your child. So my heart got to go out to him in that capacity. But at the same token, I'm like, bro, we can't pass accountability. This is your son's music, bro. This is what this is. And, he was like, oh, well, when actors like Arnold Schwarzenegger or other people, they kill a bunch of people in the movie, they're not going to jail. I said, yeah, because when they're off camera, when they're not filming, they make it clear to the rest of the world every time you see them that that's an act, that they're pretending. That's not real. That's not what we're doing. We're wearing tattoos saying that each tattoo represents someone I killed. So nah, bro, like this. No, it's not even close to being the same. Every photograph, we got guns and no, that's not, we online. Your mama is on welfare. Okay. Your mama's on WIC. Your baby mama's. How are you online with $100,000 onto your ear and your mama's on welfare? Heck, 2 + 2 = 4. Then folks need to knock at your door and say, sir, we're just trying to figure out how are you guys getting welfare and you got how much bands did you said you had on internet? Huh? How much bands did you, huh? So again, it's us. It's nobody to blame but us. All that money we throwing on a goddamn stripper floor. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, going back to my question, if you threw more money on the strip club floor than you threw on my Cash App to do this research, you probably the problem. I'm not even counting niggas' weed habits. I'm just saying, if you spent more money on backwoods than you spent on this melanin research, you probably the problem. This is it. If you spent more money going to the movies than you spent on this research, you're probably the problem. Because although we're announcing a plethora of issues in the community, nobody's putting that bread up to put solutions together. And the people that spend their time and money putting those solutions together, we're not even getting the access to do the things that we need to do to elucidate these things to the community. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, again, I had to take my hat off to, Kyrie Irving, you know what I'm saying, who seems like he's the only one willing to step up in the universe where we got Dame Dash that has diabetes, that's promoting liquor, and he's opening up pastry companies with his son. Like, hold on, bro. If you got type 1 diabetes, which is quote unquote something that runs in the genes, why would you open a dessert business with your son? Because he possibly may have those genes as well. Like, what are we doing? That's like E40 with the ice cream and the sausage business. What are we doing?
We doing our genocide now. It's no other group. It's us. We doing the genocide. All the people that died during the pandemic, the number one risk factor was metabolic disease. So that means your lifestyle killed you. That means your ignorance killed you. That means the fact that you ain't spent no money over here, no time over here studying is what killed you. And before there was me and my contemporaries, there was a Sabi and his contemporaries. Before there was a Sabi and his contemporaries, the list goes on back into infinity. So there's always been somebody here. The Kemetic guys, they running around with Ankhs and all this goofball shit on. How many of those niggas are studying the papyri that Imhotep or the books that Imhotep? How many of them studying Imhotep trying to put that back into play? You know, when I first started, before I went to school to become a certified naturopathic doctor, and I was just minister, ordained minister. I was just minister. I used to be in the churches. But guess what? When I go to the church one time, the church folks don't want me to come back because immediately I start going right in on the pastor, on the deacon. Like, yo, you got a church full of people on high blood pressure medication and diabetes medication, but you got fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, cornbread, biscuits, cold Pepsis, and all that in the back. Please show me in this Bible that y'all supposed to be following where it says Pepsi is on the menu. Show me where macaroni and cheese is somewhere in this book on the menu. Show me fried chicken in this book on the menu. Show me where these items are on the menu if you following this book. It's not there. So I come in the church one time, light that shit up. They like, man, no return visit for him.
That's how it goes, man. That's definitely how it goes. They don't like that information, man. It is what it is. It definitely is what it is, man. You know, they'll get it one day, man. Our people are waking up slowly but surely. Not fast enough for me or you, but people are beginning to wake up. Unfortunately,
they on their
some of them.
Listen, they on their own clock.
Yeah,
everybody has a genetic clock. It's called the Horvath clock. The Horvath clock is ticking. That tells you your actual biological age, not how many times you've been around the sun. Because there's people that's 20 years old, but their biological age is 50. You know, one of the scariest things that I found out was when I found out that Alzheimer's disease, and it's not alone, but Alzheimer's disease, and there's a host of other diseases, they have a 20 to 50 year incubation period. That was one of the scariest things I found out. That means that you don't get Alzheimer's at 50, 60, or 70. You get Alzheimer's at your mid-20s.
You got to insert bomb. That's heavy. You got to come back and talk about all that stuff, bro. Got to come back and talk about all that stuff. You know, the platform is always open to you, bro. You know, just reach out. Let me know that you're ready to come back and talk about some more stuff. The people always appreciate you and all the information. And I do definitely hope that you definitely get some people hit up your Cash App and that come on your Patreon and, you know, subscribe and learn, because
listen, we're doing a variation of the 40-day fast, and it's not so diet sensitive, and it's not focused necessarily on herbs and supplements. We're doing a super laid back version to really try to incorporate as many people as possible and to show people the magic of being able to change and reset your body's neurochemistry, and how that neurochemistry, the balance between melanin stimulating hormone and melanin concentrating hormone, can change your entire health without barely even working out, like all these things we thought were super necessary. Like we getting ready to have a large scale testimonial from, you know, everybody that participates to see this magic. Because once you experience the magic one time for yourself, you can't go backwards.
So family, make sure that y'all hit up Mr. Enqi on Patreon. He's not on YouTube no more, which I didn't even know that. So he just told me that. He blew my mind with that. So make sure y'all hit him up on Patreon, which is good. That way you have to support. And make sure you hit him up so you can find out the information for when the documentary is going to drop.
Listen, I'm like Noah. You know what I'm saying? Noah was building that ark. And let me tell you, because I be telling folks this. This is another thing be getting folks mad. Noah was building that ark, right? Noah was kind of like a wild boy. So, you know, the folks in the Bible time, they had never experienced the flood before like that. And you know, Noah wasn't necessarily the most trustworthy guy. So when Noah's like, yo, I'm building this, the flood is coming, woo woo, they had more of a reason to be skeptical of Noah than the people today have to be of me. Because guess what? As I'm building this ark over here, niggas is already neck deep in the water. We already are aborting more babies in this country than we have. Brown, black, and Latinos, we're aborting more babies than we have. Our sisters no longer can produce breast milk. The vaginas are not getting pregnant anymore. Penises are not working. We're having penis replacements. We got brothers walking around with fake pipes. We already neck deep in the water. It's just a matter of whether you're going to participate or you just comfortable with doggy paddling until you drown.
It's as simple as that. I appreciate you, bro. Look forward to having you back soon. Thanks for your time. Everybody, make sure that y'all definitely go outside and support the brother, Dr. Enqi. Peace out, King. All right, so listen, y'all. Let me add myself back to the stream. I don't know what happened. Here we go. What's going on here? Why is my camera not working? That's interesting. 1 2 1 2. Y'all can hear me, right? Okay. For some reason, my camera's not showing anymore. I don't know why. Let me just do a test real quick and see. Everything's fine here. I don't know why, but it's all good. Listen, before we go, family, 2 more things really quickly while I have y'all here. I'm about to get out of here, but I want to share something with you guys real quick. Yeah. So, before I start, right, what I want to share with y'all is it's all about health and wellness, right? That's what it's about, right? So I had a little challenge that I've been challenging some brothers that say that they're in the gym working out to do, because I've seen people online doing this challenge. So I'm taking this challenge up myself. If any brothers want to take this challenge up, take the challenge up. If you make a videotape yourself, send it to me. I'll definitely play it. You know what I'm saying? But we definitely, trying to push health and wellness. That's what it's all about, especially in days like this. Let's go. Shalom, family. What's going on? It's your brother, Priest Danyaahla, representing Lions of Israel, Maccabeestv, back at you. Listen, I've been looking online, and I've been seeing something. A lot of people are doing a new challenge, but this challenge is a positive challenge. It's called the Mike Tyson Push-Up Challenge, where people, male and female, are seeing how many Mike Tyson push-ups they can do in 10 minutes. The challenge is to do 200, that's right, 200 Mike Tyson push-ups in 10 minutes. Do you think you have what it takes? I've been talking to a lot of my brothers and sisters in the Israelite community that work out, and I've been issuing this challenge to them. I'm going to take up the challenge. I'm going to do 200 Mike Tyson push-ups in 10 minutes. Now, here's the deal. The deal is this. There are a few ground rules. Do not edit the video. In between your sets, if you have to rest during your 10 minutes, you can be on your knees, you can get up, you can walk it off. Whatever you have to do, no shame in your game. Just don't edit the video. Get back down in push-up position and hit your next set. And after that, do whatever you have to do for 10 minutes. And the goal is to hit 200. Now, I've called a few people out. I'm waiting on y'all videos. You definitely are going to see mine. Once again, it's the Mike Tyson push-up, 200 in 10 minutes. Can you do it? I'm going to wait to see. It's your brother, Priest Dan, Lions of Israel, Maccabeestv. Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. Quite a few people told me they were going to do it till I think, this is my personal opinion, till they tried it and they realized how difficult it was. And I haven't been hearing from them since. But I'm gonna push y'all. The ones that said you're going to do it, I'm going to push you. I'm going to keep asking you till you send me the video. All right? Anyway, we about to get out of here, family. Peace and blessings. Much love to everybody. This is your brother, Priest Dan, representing Lions of Israel. Maccabeestv, much love. I appreciate those of y'all that came through. and listen to the video with Dr. Enqi. And we'll be right back at it, y'all. Peace.
Yep. Ooh. I made this during the pandemic, y'all.
To unleash the full power of the federal government through this effort today, I am officially declaring a national emergency.
Let's go.
Father in the sky, I shed tears, I don't know why, but I'm a child of the Most High, so they can't break me if they try. Father in the sky, I shed tears, I don't know why, but I'm a child of the Most High, so they can't break me if they try.
The curses, the plagues, is it all a dream? The curfew, the troops, the world's on quarantine. The social, the 6 degrees of separation. The troubles of Jacob, the need for preparation. My vision is focused, I won't speed or rush. And if there's hate in your blood, then you need a flush. Yes, the priest is back, the Most High be praised. I'm making them sick, this song is 5G waves. As real as they come, won't find no fugazi. A man amongst men, so Gail and Oprah hate me. And Jesus had warrants. Paul wrote letters to Corinth. And Esau is red, and Donald Trump is orange. The faces, the gestures, that cat is so comedic. Corona, the virus, the plagues is sent on Egypt. We were slaves, led away to other gods. I ain't preaching shy, I'm killing them with current laws.
Father in the sky, I shed tears, I don't know why, but I'm a child of the Most High, so they can't break me if they try. Father in the sky, I shed tears, I don't know why, but I'm a child of the Most High, so they can't break me if they try.
The riches, the fame, is it all for Skrilla? The mask and the gloves so COVID doesn't kill you. The panic, the fear, the news is so fallacious. The Isley, the brothers, they say it's so contagious. The doctors, the nurses, the need for ventilators. The 1,200 cash they gave to stimulators. The signs and the warnings, don't forget the scriptures. Prevention and cure funded by special interests. Still in the streets, surely. Some say that he's worldly. Flow is sick like why Tekashi got released early. The judges, the lawyers, they say there's no defense. Season 8 Game of Thrones, cause it don't make no sense. And that's the rundown, TV is saturated. The fear is the push to get us vaccinated. We were slaves, led away to other gods. I ain't preaching shy, I'm killing them with current laws.
Father in the sky, I shed tears, I don't know why, but I'm a child of the Most High, so they can't break me if they try. Father in the sky,
like I said,
I shed tears, I don't know why, but I'm a child of the Most High, so they can't break me if they try.